Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson, Zero and X-Force, and this is my Marvel, DC, and Independent Comic Poll list for the week of the 13th of June 2012, and today is the 19th. It is a Tuesday. And first up here are my Marvels, and first up for my Marvels, I decided to start with the Incredible Hulk number 9. The reason for this is, first of all, I like to say that everyone's been pushing and advertising the Amazing Spider-Man 50th anniversary, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with that. But what's kind of not been discussed or even promoted is the upcoming 50th anniversary of the Hulk. So I really hope they do it justice. I hope they do something really cool, at least equally as cool as they're doing with Amazing Spider-Man. I love both those characters, but I do think the Hulk, especially with the popularity lately of his character in the Avengers movie, I'm hoping that they do something special with his anniversary. I mean, 50 years for Amazing Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk is pretty awesome. So here's hoping that they do something worthy of it. But we're here to review comics, so let's review issue number 9 of the Incredible Hulk. Now, I've been on The Incredible Hulk for a long time. Those of you who've been watching my postings, you know that I am a big Hulk fan. And I really loved this new relaunching at first. And then it kind of got interesting, but I wasn't loving it as much. And with the last issue, number 8, I was completely disappointed with the artwork. And I didn't even like the storyline that much. So I was really wrestling with myself if I'm going to be picking up 9. Technically, I dropped it from my saver, but I was going to keep my eye out for it. Now, I saw this, and I thought, you know what? I know it's a really cool cover. I know it's one of my favorite comic characters, but I was really dreading if the artwork was going to be like last issue, and I really wasn't paying attention to the name on the cover. So I picked it up. I came home and I read it, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, the reason I was pleasantly surprised is because I was expecting absolutely nothing from it. I was expecting terrible artwork, and what I got was actually nice artwork. Not the best, but considering how bad the artwork was in issue number 8, this is a new artist, and this artist knows how to draw the Hulk, and it was nice to see that. Now, the story itself is probably going to be a hit and miss with a lot of people. It was a hit with me just because I'm always a sucker for underwater stuff. Was it super original? No. Was it as fresh as Hulk's been lately, story-wise? No. Was it as terrible as the last issue of Incredible Hulk? Absolutely not. It was much, much better than that episode with the horrible artwork and the dog drug dealers. That was just absolutely horrendous in my opinion. This one, though, I liked. It was fun. You know, it was Hulk smash underwater. I enjoyed it because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. So I liked it. I say it was good enough for me to go back to my comic book store and say, hey, you know what? Put Incredible Hulk back on my saver. I am going to keep my eye out for that artist that was on, I'm blanking right now, that was on issue number 8, because I really don't like him on Hulk. I remember liking him before in other characters, but with Hulk, absolutely not. But I like this one, and I kind of hope they stop this constantly changing of artists. I'm talking every issue is like a different artist right now. So I really wish they would find an artist, stick with that artist for a run, and then, you know, try to keep him around for a while. But I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But for now, I enjoyed this, and this gave me hope for Incredible Hulk again. Number 8 completely devastated my hopes, but that one gave me a little glimmer of possibilities. So number 9 is a thumbs up for me. Next up is the new story arc, but kind of a continuation of Uncanny X-Force, number 26. Love this cover, by the way. As much as I always like the covers of Hulk, you don't know what you're gonna get when you open up the covers. But with Uncanny X-Force, a great cover always means you're gonna have something really special inside. It has never really disappointed, artwork wise. They have had some different type of artists on before, but it's for the most part it's worked. But right now we have my favorite team, well, one of my favorite teams on X-Force, and that's of course Nato and White, and that's the artist team. I really like the way that this team handles X-Force. In fact, if I could probably pick one or two teams to constantly be handling X-Force, this would definitely be one of them. Story-wise, we left off with some really cool stuff happening, and you kind of had Wolverine. I won't do any spoilers, but you kind of had Wolverine in this situation that I have personally never seen him in before. Funny, but it makes sense. Like, if you're going to fight Wolverine, this is something you would do. And it's funny, no one ever thought of this before. Using his mutant powers against him type thing. Plus, putting him in a situation where he can't be very much of a threat, considering what they did to him. And then in this particular issue, he actually remedies that in a very gory Wolverine way. So, again, no spoilers, but it's a really great issue, and I have to say, I am just red hot with how much I've been enjoying Uncanny X-Force. Definitely one of the best Marvel books they put out, and if I'm going to be getting one or two comics from Marvel, this will always be on the list. A very strong recommendation for X-Force. Now, if I wouldn't say this is a good jumping on point. I mean, technically it's a new story arc, but it's very much connected to what happened last issue. So, I would recommend at least picking up the last few issues if you're going to be jumping on. I definitely think that everyone should be reading X-Force, and if you're not reading singles, you're missing out. But you got to be picking up the trades. Excellent issue. Next up here for my Marvels is a great new limited run, and that is Spider-Man. I've been looking forward to this. This is issues number 1 of 5, limited series, and we have a fantastic team, one of the best teams ever to do any kind of Spider-Man character. Obviously, this is a team that is most famous with Ultimate Spider-Man, and now we get to have, through the magic of comics, both the Ultimate Spider-Man working together in a really, really great first issue. Usually when I read a first issue, I hold back, like, well, this is good so far, but we'll see. But this, I have no doubt, considering how good this issue was, plus this team, this is going to be absolutely great limited series, and an absolutely must pick up on trade. I love Ultimate Spider-Man. After his death, I still was in transition, thinking if I'm going to like this new Spider-Man, and actually I do. Is he Peter Parker? No, but he's not trying to be, and it works. So it's really cool to have two of these really awesome characters in the Ultimate Universe together. A great issue, definitely a must pick up. And next is the second summer event. Obviously, you have the main series of Avengers vs. X-Men. This is the second series that I think everyone should be picking up if you're reading the main series, and that is the Versus. And it was actually fun. Again, I've said this many times, but this is all action. This is really a companion book. It's not to be read by itself. It's pure action. Very, very light in the story because they assume you're reading the main story already. But I have to say, it's a really great companion series to the main one, and I always look forward to it because I'm having fun with this versus Avengers vs. X-Men, And as much as the story is getting deeper in the main book, I've actually been enjoying this. Just, hey, I want to see superheroes beat the crap out of each other. Let's see who wins. And I like how at the end you have a decisive winner. Like, if you guys remember the whole Marvel versus DC way back when, it's like there was hardly any real decisive winners. It was like a bunch of ties. So it's pretty cool that as almost like a video game, you have a decisive winner, and it'll actually say winner so and so. So really cool. I've really been enjoying this. It's definitely a lot of fun. Good artwork too. Good action artwork. Next up here for my Marvels is Deadpool. And this is issue number 56. And of course, this is Deadpool Reborn. Deadpool has been completely healed. Obviously, he has a healing factor, but he had that massive, scar facial body problem. Now, something has happened in the last story arc, and he is now fully healed. And he's liking it, but at the same time, he's kind of dealing with. He's so used to being scarred, he's kind of adjusting to him being reborn and basically the Wayne Wilson he used to be before all the Deadpool stuff. So really cool. It's very funny. It's definitely Deadpool flavor, and I'm really enjoying this. This is definitely one I'll be looking out on trade, because it's really cool to have Deadpool for the first time ever really actually changed, which affects both him as a character and how other people perceive him. So really enjoying this. And last for my Marvels is the end of a very good limited series, and that's Halo Fall of Reach. Now I get this for me and my nephew, and I'm getting ready to send a collection of books to him. Now that I got this one, I was basically waiting for the series to wrap up before I send him comics. And it's a really good one. In fact, it's coming out in July in trade, and I recommend anyone who likes, obviously Halo, but science fiction at all, that when you see Halo Fall of Reach on trade, pick it up, give it a read. You won't be disappointed. It was very good. All right. Now, my DCs. First up here, obviously, I like to lead off with the big stuff, and that is before Watchmen #1, Spectre. Now, as much as I enjoyed Minutemen, it was, just okay for me. This is more what I was looking for. This is really, in my opinion, what I wanted to see from Spectre. Obviously, it's just the first issue. We have like 34 more weeks of books from before Watchmen, so unlike Spider-Man, I don't want to judge this one too early. But I will say this. What I really liked about Silk Spectre and her character was that she was a second generation character. And it was interesting for me to see her and how she dealt with being the son of the original the daughter of the original Silk Spectre, and what their relationship was like. And what's really cool here is you actually get to see not only her with her mother and how their relationship was, a little more depth to that, but you get to see her mother in her prime. So what it seems like what they're going to do here is really tell the story of Silk Spectre, mother and daughter, and kind of go back and forth, showing her in her prime, which we're getting from Minutemen. And obviously the main focus is the current Silk Spectre, or the one that from Watchmen, the daughter. So I really enjoyed this. I saw a few bad reviews of this, and I was really questioning why. It was actually everything I was looking for this book. Now, if it was like this the whole time, I would probably be disappointed, because I do want some action, some other relationships being involved in this series. But right now it's really focusing on mother-daughter, and I think that's appropriate for the first issue. So I like this. I'm really looking forward to this one. I can't wait to read Comedian and Rorschach and Night Owl and all the other ones. I'm really getting excited now. All right, and for those of you who have been questioning if you should pick up the Before Watchmen, I say absolutely yes. I've read just the first 2 books, and I'm already thinking how special this is going to be. If you're going to be picking up other summer events, definitely pick up this one. If you're only picking up one summer event, I would recommend picking up Before Watchmen. You don't have to pick them all up, just pick up your favorite characters. I'd probably recommend Silk Spectre, Rorschach, Night Owl, the characters that I really think are going to be the best, especially the teams. But Dr. Manhattan and the Comedian also look really good. Again, excellent teams handling those books. So definitely you guys go out and pick a few up and give them a read. Next up here for my DC is number 10 of Batman and Robin, War of the Robins. Now obviously I've been reading comics for a while, so I wasn't expecting to have a full-on battle of all the Robins like it shows here on the cover. But you do get a very strong confrontation beginning here between Tim and Damian, 2 characters who have always bumped heads. Unlike Dick Grayson, who's kind of been a mentor to both of these individuals, Tim Drake and Damian Wayne just really have never, their personalities are so opposite, they've never gotten along. Plus they're closer to age. So I actually really enjoyed this. Personally, I like all the Robins. I love Tim Drake. I love Damian Wayne. I love Damian Wayne. I love Dick Grayson, and I absolutely love Jason Todd. So I'm really looking forward to the future books and how they're going to have all the Robins come together. Whenever they do this, I really enjoy it because, again, I know all the Robins. I've read all the Robins for a long time. I like how they're all individuals and they all have their own individual identities now and how different they all are. Though they don't all have an undertone that's the same, that's the connection to Batman. So there's so much going on here for people who have been reading Batman and the Robin books for a while that for long-time readers, these are great issues. For first-time readers, you wouldn't get all the stuff that's going on, all the undertones, so it might not be as fun. But for anyone who's been reading Batman and Robin for a long time, this is a great issue. And even though it's a lot doesn't happen, it's really more of a setup book. I'm really looking forward to this particular story arc. I really hope they hit a home run with this because I've been waiting for something like this for a long time. Definitely, guys, Batman and Robin is a great book to be picking up as a secondary book to like Scott Snyder's Batman. Now, I know there's a lot of Batman stuff going on out there, so I thought I would take a second here to tell you what I think people should be picking up. Obviously, people should be picking up this next book, which is Scott Snyder's Batman. This is the must-pick-up Batman book. This is the end, pretty much the end of the story arc, Night of the Owls. Great, one of the best Batman story arcs in a long time. And personally, even though a lot of people were a little disappointed in the twist at the end of this particular book, they're hoping for them not to go this direction. I actually still really liked it, and I didn't mind the twist. I thought the twist was pretty cool. At the same time, I understand and I see what other people have been saying, but this run still is going to go down as one of the best runs in the Batman lore, and I really love Scott Snyder, and I hope him and Capullo stay with Batman forever because it's absolutely magic. So absolutely, definitely, everyone should be picking up Batman by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Batman and Robin is another one, and mainly because it's just really good right now, and it's a really nice complement to stuff that's going on it doesn't always connect perfectly, but you get a lot of the depth between the relationship of Damian and Batman, and then the other Robins as well. That they really do a good job with that. And right now, it's going in its. And right now, it's just really working. You know how comics sometimes are slow starting, and then all of a sudden they get good for a while, then they dip down, just like, I don't know, stocks or something. They're always going up and down. It's the same with comics. Now, there are a few exceptions, like Scott Snyder and the writer to Uncanny X-Force, that's blanking my mind right now. They're always doing really strong, solid stuff. But for most books, it goes back and forth. Right now, Batman and Robin is a great book, and it's just really been doing a really good job. Anyone who's reading it will say the same thing, I know. So it's another book I recommend everyone picking up. Then you get a little bit confusing, because then you can go into the Morrison stuff, and it does connect with these other books, but sometimes it does its own thing. But I would still recommend a third book being picked up would be Batman Incorporated. It's really important to the Batman lore, and it's really a must-read for Batman fans. So if you only want to pick up a few Batmans, I recommend those three Batman books. I think you should definitely be reading those. But let's talk about the pretty much the ending here of the Night of Owls, issue number 10 of Batman. Like I said, there's a bit of controversy at the end of this book. Some people thought it was really cool. Other people were hoping that it didn't go in this direction, but a different one. I totally see both sides. I personally have been enjoying this so much that even though I wasn't really expecting this twist, I kind of had a few hints that I picked up by reading this, but they did a really good job in making you kind of guess, like, wait a minute, I don't know if they're really going to do this, and who's it going to be. So when you finally get this, you know, yeah, what great build-up we've had with this storyline. I mean, a great storyline, great build-up. So when you finally, you know, you're really excited to find out, you know, who's the head of this. And then they show you, you know, it's kind of like the saying, you can't please everyone all the time. And that's pretty much what you got here. Some people were really pleased, some people were not. I personally was. I thought it was a really great ending to a book. And I really, really love this book. And again, if you're only picking one Batman book, some people would say Morrison, and I wouldn't say that's wrong. Me personally, I would say this book absolutely must. And if you're picking up one, pick up Batman with Scott Snyder. A great ending to this story arc. Now, when I say ending, I'm sure the future issues will be dealing with this. And finally, here is issue number 2 to Epic Kill, and it's a limited run coming from Image, and I enjoyed the first issue. I wasn't really loving the art, but I did kind of enjoy how different this book is. It's one of those rare books that's written and illustrated and colored by one person. And a lot of times when an artist will do everything on a book, I really want to read it. So again, it's a limited run, so it's easy to commit to. And it's very, very different. It's really hard to explain. You really kind of have to be experiencing this book to really get it. Kind of like Monocyte, where it has its own art style, and it has a very interesting and imaginative storyline. So I definitely recommend people picking up the first 2 issues to see if you like them. But you know, it's only 4 issues, so you might as well, if you're going to pick up the first 2, pick them all up. I think it's important to support projects like this, because not only are you supporting an independent comic like Image, but you're supporting this artist who, you know, he's doing everything on this book. And it is a very interesting storyline. And it's so interesting that I'm not even sure what's going on half the time. So it really keeps you turning the pages. And even though I don't love this particular style of art, it feels a little stiff to me, it's starting to grow on me for this particular type of story. And I definitely am looking forward to how this is going to wrap up. But with that, those are my comics for the week, and I have a few questions for you guys. First and foremost, have you guys been picking up Watchmen? And if you have, which books have you and are you going to be picking up? And also, are you pleased so far? I know it's a little early to say that, but 2 books have come out. A third one's coming out this week. So I would like to hear from you guys, see if you guys are liking it. Also, the Batman conclusion. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it just okay for you? What did you think about the twist ending at the end of Batman issue number 10? And with that, that's what I have this week, and thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.